Hey, welcome to DW's Artist Access. I'm Linda Ceballos. Today we are in beautiful Silver Lake, California at the home studio of Brendan Buckley. One look at this guy's resume and you know this guy is good. So let's go inside and get the scoop. So thank you so much for having us here in your studio today. I mean, you are always working, and it's really, it's exciting. When I was reading it, I was like, wow, this is fantastic. So.
I'm very fortunate. I think I have a lot of great friends and a lot of good opportunities.
Good,
I feel very, very fortunate, as opposed to, I don't know if it's just, I don't know if it's due to me or due to the fact that I have a lot of great connections out there and a lot of great opportunities.
It seems that if you're not on tour, you're definitely doing something in town, you're playing with the band. Tell me a little bit about that for you.
Well, I guess it's what I've always done. It's, I love recording, but I also love playing live shows. I love touring and playing with friends' bands and subbing for friends and on various tours if they can't do it. It's that juggling act that I've always liked about, having a career in music.
You have your kit set up back here, so why don't you tell me a little bit about what we have going on?
This is a DW Jazz series, Green Sparkle.
Green Sparkle, I like it.
I like the sparkle colors.
Me too.
It brings me back to like my Mitch Mitchell love as a child. So I really like this kit. The tones are great. It has these great shells, die-cast hoops. This is a smaller kit. We got 12, 14, and 20. It's good for this size room because it's not a big room, so the big drums kind of get a little too boomy in here. I use a variety of styles, a variety of sizes for different styles, but this one works well for me for doing a lot of jazz or singer-songwriter kind of stuff. I like bigger sizes too. I go for like the 24-inch bass drums and 18-inch floor toms too sometimes. Those are packed away in the basement. And
does that change with who you're touring with or who you're playing with? Is that what happens for you, or a clinic? How does that change for you?
Yeah, it basically changes on the sound I'm looking for various projects. Mm-hmm. I love big drums, but just sometimes they don't seem to work well. So I just actually every recording I do or every gig I do, I contemplate what's the best sound for this gig. My setup being like positioning hardly ever changes. It's usually one bass drum, one rack tom, one or two floor toms, one snare drum, maybe a tiny one on the left side. The cymbals are in the same spot. It all comes from the same reach and the same location. It's just sometimes the drums get a little bigger in diameter, a little deeper, or not. And it's just what I'm going for. If I want to go for more like that bigger, thuddier sound, or a smaller, more tone-oriented, controlled sound. Yeah, that's it.
And so right now, if where can we see you? What are you doing? What projects or what's going on this year for you?
What's going on this year? Just finished producing a record for an artist named Michael Miller that I'm pretty happy about. He's a great singer-songwriter, and we had a lot of fun making his record. Got a lot of my friends involved too, so it became a nice community project. I have dates coming up on tour with Beto Cuevas and Daniel Powder.
And you can check his website. It's all updated, and he's got a lot of information on there.
Yeah, I try to keep it updated. And I work a lot with Shakira. That's I've done probably since 1998.
Wow.
I've been working with her on her records and her tours. That's a fun gig because it's pop, but it brings in so many different elements of rock and Latin and dance and electronic music. So as a drummer, it's great because I get to just sit back there and decide, what elements I want to bring live. If I want to get super electro with my samplers and my drum cat and things like that, or if I want to just try to rock through the songs. And she's pretty open to allow me to interpret the songs.
Oh, that's
however
great.
I feel. I tour with an Irish artist named Damien Rice, one of my favorite songwriters and musicians ever. He was a friend of mine before I started playing with him, but then I started playing with him, and it was one of the best musical experiences I've ever had. That
Wow.
tour. You know, the group was great. The environment, like he created on stage, is very musical, very interactive, very improvisatory. So I never knew what was going to go on from night to night.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it was great.
You can't get bored being on tour when that's
No,
happening.
he just challenges the band to just play his songs differently every night.
Oh, that's
So
great.
it was kind of exciting. You know,
Yeah.
he'd be like, yeah, don't do it like last night. I don't know, use mallets or drop out or speed up or whatever.
And that doesn't happen very often, is that right?
I almost never.
Wow.
Everyone wants it to be, you know, kind of consistent from night to night, and consistency, I think, kind of bored him. The only consistency he wanted was creativity. So
Right.
I approached it more like a jazz gig, like where you don't really talk a lot, you just listen and sort of just try to create something.
Trust your instincts and go with what comes. And
Yeah.
all right, so I read your blog on Modern Drummer, and you had an epiphany, and you said you spoke about drummer from Led Zeppelin. Can you tell me a little bit about that story?
I believe it was my friend from Modern Drummer, Billy Amendola, wrote me saying, can you just tell a story about, you know, when you were an aspiring student drummer? And I thought, oh, there's so many breakthroughs I had and epiphanies I had, and the one I can think of was when I was, you know, I was pretty self-taught in the beginning. I played trumpet and piano, but I bought a used drum set just because I like playing beats. And I had a friend of mine who was also a drummer, and he just kept on coming up with these cool beats. I had no idea what he was doing. I was going boom, pop, pop, boom, pop, and he was doing these like really cool beats, and I'm like, how are you doing that? What is that? And he said, man, this is Led Zeppelin. I'm like, he's like, John Bonham, man, you gotta learn how to play John Bonham beats. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. How did you learn this? He goes, my drum teacher taught him to me. I'm like, you have a drum teacher? Where'd you get a drum teacher?
I love that story.
So then I went to the band the next day and asked my band teacher, how can I get a drum teacher? So he got me one, and then I started learning. And I remember when I think back now, that the beat that my friend was playing was from Good Times, Bad Times. And it was, so I think about that moment might have been one of those few moments that propelled me to where I am now, because maybe I would have just playing boom, boom, for the last 20 years. But because I saw that, I was like, I gotta learn how to do that. And it made me get a drum teacher, and made me take it a little more seriously. Maybe it lit a fire under my butt that there are other guys doing way cooler things than I'm doing, so I need to step it up a bit. And yeah, I think that's the story. And I still, you know, when I pull out my Zeppelin records, I'm still blown away by everything that guy did.
Yeah.
His feel, creativity, drum sound, everything. He's one of my favorites. DW, they make a lot of really cool lines now, and that was their newest one. It's called the Jazz. My friend, I bumped into my friend Scott Donnell at a DW party, and he's like, hey man, have you tried the new ones, the new Jazz? I'm like, I haven't. So he's like, you gotta try them out. I think you'd really dig them, because I know you're really into like vintage drums and older drums, and our two new series, Classics and Jazz, are emulating a very cool sound, and he said it would be up my alley. So I checked him out, and he was totally right. I mean, I've loved everything they've done since I started with them in 2000, but I think they really stepped it up a notch with like the Classics and the Jazz, as far as just appealing to drummers who love old tubby drums or you know, vintage sounds and things like that. I'm doing a certain gig, I need a certain kind of drum set or a certain kind of look or sound, and they're like, we know exactly what you need. You know, it's like a doctor.
Yeah.
Take two of these, call us in the morning, they prescribe something, and they're almost always like dead on.
That's great.
And I've been so happy to be with them for the last, what has it been, 9 years now?
Wow. Yeah. Great. Well, we have had a great time meeting you, and we appreciate the time. We know that you're a very busy schedule. So,
you're probably very busy too, so
well, yeah.
Thanks for coming over.
And that's it for Artist Access, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Dando vueltas por las calles de mi vida cada